Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And today I want to talk about my first ever Booktube-A-Thon experience. I want to do some kind of different videos over here, and since Booktube-A-Thon is starting a week from Sunday, I wanted to do, some Booktube-A-Thon kind of themed videos over here. I love readathons. And Booktube-A-Thon was my very first readathon, and it was kind of a momentous moment. That doesn't even make sense, alliteration. Anyway, it was kind of like this profound moment for me, not just on BookTube, but I think like it was a moment of change in my life. And I know this sounds silly, but for the people out there that put Booktube-A-Thon together, like Ariel Bissett and the other people that do this, you know, what's it called? The sprints on Twitter and all that kind of stuff, and all the people that did the, that year that did the Booktube-A-Thon TBRs, all of the booktubers that I had watched for a long time that I really, was excited to see them doing. I'm like, I'm doing the same thing they are and all this kind of stuff. So do you ever just have stuffed animals? We have 3 dogs, so we constantly have little stuffed animals all over our floor. That's Tucker's best friend. I name every single one of them too. That's Polly. Okay, so anyway, so let me tell you a little bit of what happened to me the year that Booktube-A-Thon was started. So this would have been 2 years ago, so I would have been 44 at the time. And I was really, really excited about it. I had put my TBR together. I specifically wanted to do something very, very special and different. And so I went in and I picked all 7 books that also had movie adaptations. So my plan was to read I really did think I was going to read all 7 books, which I didn't. My plan was to read all 7 books and then watch the movie adaptations of it. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get emotional in this story. And I don't cry typically out of sadness a lot of times. I usually cry out of joy or out of having some emotional response to something in the world, which if you watch my Peterisms channel, I always am talking about emotional things I've learned in my life. It's listed below. Or if you've watched my vlog, I have a daily vlog, I also cry a lot on there. And it's a lot of times really an emotional response that I've had to something that has happened in the world, if that makes sense. And that's going to probably happen with me telling this story. So I was really excited about Booktube-A-Thon. I was so excited. I had heard about these readathons. I had heard people talk about it, and they had all participated in it, and they would say, oh, Booktube-A-Thon this, or this, this Diverse-A-Thon. I don't even know if Diverse-A-Thon was around then. But anyway, all these different readathons, and I wanted to participate in one. So this was like the first one that had come up, first big one, since I had started on BookTube. Because I got on BookTube that year, May 11th was my very first video, and then Booktube-A-Thon was in July. So the week before, I had my TBR. I planned it down. I was ready to, read these books and watch these movies. And in the summer, I read a lot on the front porch. And so I had that week, I had gone out and I had bought all of these special drinks, to read with. And I don't drink. I've been sober for 23 and a half years. So I was I had bought all this special lemonade to make and lemonade in bottles and iced coffee and cold, pressed coffee in bottles, and I bought all these different kinds of coffees and special drinks that were in my refrigerator, in bottles. And I had specifically picked out certain foods for the books that I was reading, special places, things like that. And I was reading Jaws, and so I got these Jaws, these shark candies and stuff like that. I was really, really excited about it, and I don't know what happened. You can see it affects me still to this day, because my entire life I have had people make fun of me or talk down to me, and I think we have this belief that you become an adult and you kind of outgrow all that shit. And if you're younger, I hate to tell you that it doesn't always happen that way. And I hope for you, if that's your experience as well, that maybe one day you do. And things don't hurt me as much today, but I still always feel kind of on the outside looking in. I talk about on my other channel how much I deal with social anxiety. I've always felt that way. I've always felt outside of the group, which is typically why I only ever have I have a couple small, a couple small friends. I have 2 or 3 close friends, but I don't typically, I always do something with just one-on-one. And I don't ever do things with large groups, and I just always feel on the outside looking in. I always have my entire life, whether it was in school or whether it was in athletics or whatever it was, I always felt on the outside looking in. I never felt like I fit in, ever. And this was like something for the first time that I felt like, this is why Booktube is so important to me. I felt like for the first time I really connected to some people, you know? Even if I had never met you guys, like I was, you know, tweeting people that I had watched their videos and they had gone to BEA and I wanted to be part of that and they were gonna do this, and some of them said that they weren't gonna do this, but they encouraged me to do it, you know? And for once in my life, this thing that I had loved, this constant in my life since I had been very, very young, you know, this love of reading and this love of books and libraries and bookstores and characters and world building and all of that, this thing that I had loved all of my life, I had finally found a group of people, even if I had never met you in person, that connected with me on that level. And it felt fantastic. It felt very similar to when I got sober and I met people in the rooms of 12-step programs. You know, that I didn't have to really explain anything. We just got each other. You know what I mean? And so I was really excited about this. And my husband, Alex, was really excited for me too. And one of the things that is fantastic about our marriage is that we get really excited for the other person's excitement about something. Does that make sense? Like if he's really passionate about like electronic dance music and festivals, and we run a website together for that, and he does all of that. And I'm always really excited for him, like when he gets like, you know, media passes for something, and he's always really excited for me too. And, you know, I feel so blessed to have a partner in life that is just so supportive and so, you know, really gets excited when I'm passionate about something, and likewise. And so he knew I was really excited about Booktube-A-Thon, and it was starting that night at midnight. It was, you know, it starts on a Sunday night, and I had all of my books lined up over there, and I had each one, like I was ready to like program it into, because this is what I always do. First minute, I program it into Goodreads, what I'm reading, and I have like the Post-it notes on it saying what the challenges were that I was reading. And I mean, I had all my drinks ready. I had the coffee maker set up with a coffee mug outside. I was ready, okay? I mean, I was ready. I had snacks galore. I had vegetable plates, fruit cut up. I had peanut butter sandwiches that were already made in case I just wanted to run inside and get a sandwich. You know, I was ready. I was gonna read like 6 hours the first night. So we go out to dinner with some friends of ours. Very, very good friends of ours. Our friends Jason and Melissa, who, I mean, they too are so supportive of everything that I do. And I don't know, it's just amazing when you're at a point in your life where you have quality people, not quantity people. I've had quantity people in my life, and that's great too, but not like having quality people in your life that really care about you, you know? And we're sitting there at dinner, and Alex was like, so they were going to go out afterwards, and they were like all going to go downtown to like this like loungy bar, and we were going to sit around and listen to music. And Alex said, well, we can go, but Peter can't go because Peter has something that he's excited about doing. Did you tell him? And I was just kind of sat there and I looked at like Alex like, they're not going to get this, right? And, you know, most of my friends now, because I have 4 channels, I'm starting a 5th channel August 1st, a storytellers channel, which is me just like telling the first story, and then all of you guys, if you want to tell a story, can come over to that channel and you can tell a story about your life as well. And I'm just going to upload the video, so it's underneath my Peterisms video if you're interested in that. But anyway, so most people in my life today know that I do a lot on YouTube. I have 5 channels, you guys, okay? But then I just had Booktube, and it was just very like me reading, uploading a video, me reading, uploading a video. So they didn't really know to what extent I did all this kind of stuff. And so Melissa was like, yeah, what are you doing? And her husband is so awesome. He is always just so excited about anything that we get excited about. And he was like, yeah, Peter, you know, like tell us, like what's this thing that you're doing? I'm like, well, it's a readathon, and you know, like there's these reading challenges, and they don't read. Nobody in my life besides my best friend reads. And they're like, oh, well, what are like the reading challenges? And so I was like telling them the reading challenges. I was like, well, you have to read a book with yellow on the cover. And I still remember these books. I don't know why, you know? And then you have to read a book like the novella, I think that year was one of them. And so anyway, and I think I read Annie Proulx, Brokeback Mountain for that. So anyway, I was telling them about all the challenges and stuff, and they're like, that's really cool. And I was like, thanks, you know, and stuff. And so then when we left, Alex rode with them downtown, and I went home, and it's like 20 till 12. And I'm sitting on the front porch. You know, the dogs, I've taken them out. I got candles lit outside. I've got the candle warmers going in the house. The house smells great. Everything is ready. The bed is made for me to go to bed and get up the next morning and start. You know, everything is cozy. I've got on comfy clothes. Everything is perfect. I got my snacks in the fridge. I'm sitting there. I've got my, you know, cold brew coffee next to me, and everything. All my books are sitting right next to me. I'm ready to go with the first sprint and everything, right? I mean, I am ready to go. And I don't know what happened. something happened within that 15 or 20 minutes right before Booktube-A-Thon happened. And I thought, you know, you're 44 years old and you're getting excited about reading some books on a front porch readathon. You know, like this is corny. Like, why are you, like, why is this, your friends and your husband are out downtown, you know, like, what's going on? And I just sat there and like, I consciously, I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, this isn't like what I want my life to be. And all of my life, I've always compared myself to other people. This is one of the most dangerous things you can do in your entire life, okay? Is to compare your journey to somebody else's, because no two journeys are alike. And I'm sitting there and I'm comparing myself to other people, and do you think so-and-so would be doing a readathon and getting excited about it? You think so-and-so would have bought $100 worth of treat, and it wasn't $100, $30 worth of treats? You know, you think this, you think that. And I got real emotional about it, and I was like, this is so corny. And I think like a couple minutes before, like Alex texted me and he was like, I'm so excited for you. And I like in that moment, I just felt so depleted. And then I was like on Twitter and I was like waiting, and like the first like book, I cannot believe like I have this emotional response to this. I really can't. And this is where you sometimes don't know about lessons in life and where they're coming from. But like the first like announcement on Booktube-A-Thon, it was like, you know, we're 5 minutes away and all this kind of stuff. And like it started, and I immediately got on Goodreads and I started like just programming my books in, just kind of like, I was moving because that's what I was excited to do. And it said something about the next 20 minutes we're gonna do this or whatever. If you've never done it, they do Twitter sprints. It's fantastic, it's so fun. And they said for the next 20 minutes, see how much you can read. And I like pulled open my book and I just started reading. And like for the first time in my life, I felt like, other than being in a 12-step program, I felt part of something that was bigger than me. And I didn't feel like I had to qualify or justify. I just felt like it was good enough just to be myself and like to read. And it wasn't being judged. It wasn't being looked down upon. And it was so much fun. I had so much fun. And that one moment of allowing myself to do something that made me happy, okay? This thing that I've loved all of my life to read, which makes me happy, to be part of something that's bigger than me. It's not just a readathon. It's not just something that, thankfully, Ariel Bissett has put on for so many years. It's not just this thing that all of these other booktubers run these sprints, you know? It's about cultivating a community. It's about cultivating a community that I am allowed to be part of just because I said, hello, I'm here, I like to read. And that's good enough. And I still don't know these people, you know? I still don't know a lot of booktubers. I've never met any of them in person. And that's okay, you know? I'm totally fine with that. But it has allowed me in my life to start chasing after things that make me happy, things that are important to me, things that make me feel alive and I'm passionate about, and know that I don't have to make excuses about that. I don't have to act like it's cheesy and, you know, hide on the front porch and not tell my friends about it. I can own that, and I can say, I'm doing Booktube-A-Thon and I'm fucking excited about it. Excuse my language. But you know what I mean? Like, I can do that. I can say, I'm excited about Booktube-A-Thon. You should be excited about Booktube-A-Thon. Everybody should do Booktube-A-Thon. Why? Because it's fun, and it forces you to read more than you normally would. Trust on that, probably. You know, and it's just a way to interact with people. And it's a different experience than I had ever had before in my entire life. And as somebody that struggles so much with social anxiety, I'm always so afraid to go into something because I don't know how people are going to feel about me, or I don't know what they're going to think about me. And I was tweeting out things that night. I was tweeting out, like, you know, they said, like, describe your book in emojis. And I'm tweeting out, you know, my book in emojis. And I didn't care what anybody thought. I made the challenge videos, a couple of them. I didn't care what people thought. And it allowed me to be myself. To think that a readathon, that Booktube-A-Thon, allowed me to look deeper in myself, release some of my fear, and become the person that I want to be today is fantastic. I'm so thankful for Booktube and Booktube-A-Thon. I'm so thankful for Booktube-A-Thon. And every year, as long as it is around, I will continue to do it. And I will do other readathons for that reason alone, that it makes me feel alive. It makes me feel passionate again. It reinvigorates me about reading. And recently I talked about being in a reading slump, and I'm really excited about Booktube-A-Thon because it alone has made me really excited to start reading again. So I just wanted to share that story with you. I don't know that anybody out there will relate to the story. Maybe this is just, you know, unique to me. But if anybody out there has ever felt like they didn't fit in, or, you know, they're not part of something better or bigger, part of something bigger, or you felt like you're always on the outside looking in and you relate to that just a little bit, you too can change, you know, but you have to take some risks. And there are safe risks in the world out there. Booktube-A-Thon was a safe risk for me, you know? And I'm so thankful that I did it. I'm so thankful that I didn't just call my husband and go, I'm gonna meet you guys downtown. I sat there and I did something that I loved. And at the end of the day, that's what's important. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.